We had watched the humans for centuries, fascinated by their erratic development. Primitive, reckless, violent, and yet unstoppable. They spread like fire across star systems, undisciplined but persistent. We Ilari believed ourselves above them, superior, until the Skarn appeared. The Skarn weren't interested in conquest. They didn't even communicate. They devoured, not in hunger but in hatred. They erased civilizations like a storm wipes clean the land. Our forces were decimated within 2 cycles. Entire fleets lost contact within hours. So we did something unthinkable. We called the humans for aid. They came, not in solemnity but in fury. Massive warships, loud and brash, painted with symbols and slogans like, "Come and take it," and "Bullets first, questions never." I was assigned as a liaison to a human unit, the 117th Terran Drop Corps. They called themselves the Graveborn. When I arrived on their base ship Judgment, I expected discipline. Instead I found chaos. Loud music, laughter, gambling, emotional inefficiency. And then there was Sergeant Bishop. A broad-shouldered male with burn scars across his left jaw and a cybernetic eye that whirred when he focused. He looked at me, gave a lazy 2-finger salute and said, "Welcome to hell, lizard." "I do not resemble a lizard," corrected him. He smirked. "Then act like it and stop looking like you're gonna bolt." Middle. We deployed to Goratha's Cradle, a mineral-rich moon vital for interstellar fuel production. The Skarn had already infested its southern hemisphere. Our orders were clear. Hold the high ground at Ridge Point 7. A forward cliff line that overlooked the only pass. As we disembarked, I noted how the humans didn't march. They swaggered. They cracked jokes, checked weapons, exchanged morbid bets. Yet each carried enough firepower to reduce a city to rubble. That first night, I asked Bishop why humans joke before battle. His cybernetic eye flicked toward me. Because if we don't laugh, the fear eats us alive. I found the concept irrational. Fear is an inhibitor, not a companion. "Stick around," he said, loading a weapon as large as my torso. "You'll get it." The Skarn attacked on the second cycle. Not in waves, in floods. They moved like liquid shadows, shrieking, screaming, their bodies twisted in impossible forms. No central strategy. Just pure, mindless annihilation. Our first line held for 12 minutes. Then the screams started. I do not mean from the Skarn. The humans dug in deeper. Firing. Reloading. Screaming back. I tried to keep up with calculations. Projectile arcs, retreat probabilities, shield decay rates, but none of it mattered. The Skarn did not stop. When their front line fell, they climbed over their own dead, still snarling. A younger human soldier, Private Reyes, was hit by a Skarn claw to the abdomen. I tried to assist him. He gripped my hand with bloodied fingers, whispered, "Don't tell my girl I screamed," and died with a smile. Froze. I had seen death but not like this. So intimate, so fragile. I turned to Bishop. Why did he smile? He didn't answer. He was busy tearing through Skarn with a weapon that roared like thunder, blood spattering his helmet. By the fourth night, our munitions were low. Sleep was a rumor. Our communications blacked out. Reinforcements were delayed. And still the humans fought. That was when I began to feel something. Alien. Not panic. Not even dread. But a knot. Inside. Coiled and cold. Fear. On the sixth night they broke through. Skarn poured into the bunker. I fired, barely remembering how. One leaped at me. Its mouth a halo of razors, and just as it descended, boom! Its body exploded mid-air. Behind me, Sergeant Bishop held a grenade launcher. "You're welcome," he huffed, spitting blood. "Now move." We retreated into the lower tunnels. The command post was gone. Half the squad was dead or missing. Our only hope: reach the orbital uplink station and signal evac. As we moved through the darkness, I asked Bishop why they hadn't broken yet. He answered without looking. "Because if we fall, Earth's next." In the tunnels, it was silence that killed morale. We weren't sure if the Skarn had followed. We heard breathing that wasn't ours. Footsteps that stopped when we stopped. And then, in the narrow shaft before the uplink, they struck again. Reyes had once said Skarn were afraid of fire. Bishop acted on it. He pulled a leaking fuel cell from his backpack, shoved it into a launcher, looked me in the eye. "Tell Earth. Tell them we didn't go quietly." Then he ran into the Skarn swarm. He never made a sound. Tunnel shook. I screamed. Not in fear. In rage. Ending. I reached the uplink, barely conscious. Blood that wasn't mine dripped from my armor. My arms shook. I sent the signal. And then silence. For an entire galactic rotation, I said nothing of the battle. Back on the Judgment, humans held memorials with music. They cried. They laughed. They remembered. When they asked me to speak, I hesitated. Then I stood, looked out over rows of soldiers, living and fallen alike, and said, "I fought beside humans. And I learned what fear really is. Not fear of death or pain, but fear of failing those beside you. Of not living up to the one who gave his last breath so you might take another. That is the fear humans carry. And somehow, it makes them stronger. Now I wear a patch on my armor. It is crude, worn, a Terran skull with wings. It belonged to Bishop. I wear it not in shame, but in reverence. Because on that day I learned, humanity is not fearless. They are something far more terrifying. They are afraid and they fight anyway. And that is why they win.